Раз, два, три. Раз, два, три. Я себя не слышу. Возможно, это из-за музыки. Так, да, все слышим. Замечательно. Все показывается, все замечательно. Да, здорово. Погнали! Продолжение наших больничных приключений. Не могу назвать, мы уже сколько, 3 стрима обитаем в больнице. Практически 3. Стрим может прерваться, потому что у меня за окном... Вау, как ты подорвался. За окном дождь, гроза и так далее. Я не знаю, как себя поведет электрика. А в этом случае... Так.
The patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them.
Короче, девушки. Странно, игра просаживается. Я понял, почему. Я понял, почему идут какие-то странные просадки. Дело в том, что компьютер работает в Power Saving Mode. Короче говоря. 2,2 ГГц. Не хотите ли? Так, все, хорошо. Выделили нам. Так, Бранаган, иди сюда.
Good evening,
Бранаган?
Nurse Brannigan.
Да.
Good evening, Doctor.
Так.
Have you seen a strange man visiting any of the nurses here?
I've never heard of such a thing, Doctor.
Do you know if any of the hospital staff have criminal backgrounds?
The people who work here all come from very different backgrounds, Doctor.
Умница.
Just like the patients.
Так, ты что-нибудь еще, кроме всего этого, можешь сказать?
Goodbye, nurse.
Сказать не можешь.
Call me if you need assistance.
Так, Бранаган, с тобой разобрались. Так, интересно. Ладно, пойдем. Подожди, а где она? Где эта девушка? Пипа... Подожди, Пипа внизу? У меня одна отметка просто показывается. Странно. Вот еще одна отметка появилась. Ладно. Если Дороти... Нажмите L, чтобы активировать чутье. Если горожанин ведет себя подозрительно, то его сердце будет биться по-особому, светиться по-особому. Посмотрев на гражданина, вы разблокируете особое действие. Идите, Дороти. Ух, это что такое?
You're sure you don't come back with me?
Nah, I have to see someone at the hospital.
Be careful. You look so bad they may keep you as a patient.
Fuck 'em. I don't like hospitals or doctors.
Well then, when you go back to Whitechapel, you may find this useful.
What is it?
A pass for a free medical exam by the best nurse available. Just read it.
Какая классная моделька.
I don't read well, but thank you, I guess.
Давай-ка за этим проследим. А вот интересно, у него телепорт, вот это вот все, он как будто превращается в пыль и все дела. А почему не в этой форме нельзя просочиться сквозь шоу? Ладно, игровые условности. Крыса в больнице. Забрать громилу из канализации. Что? Это кто там?
He's locked the door behind him.
Я понял.
I need to find another way to follow him.
Не нравятся мне эти звуки. Ой-ой-ой. И эти звуки мне тоже не нравятся. Надеюсь, все нормально.
This man has been savagely attacked and dragged to the floor.
Как же быстро его. Отлично, если что, убежим. Скали, да? 8 и 6. Но этого мы убьем сразу же. Хрен там. Ничего не вижу! Пополняем запас. Блин, боевка мне определенно тут нравится. Правда, может закружиться голова? Очень похоже на Dark Souls. Понятно, что с ним происходит. Я не могу дышать, потом рыки эти. Так, нет. Может быть, как-то надо спасти человека? Я, конечно, понимаю, кровь и все остальное, но... Возможно, нам стоит... за живыми сбегать. Так, по-моему, где-то здесь. Очень напоминает Bloodborne, вот это действие, с которым он выполняет. Сюда забрался, бедолашка. Привет.
Are you injured, sir?
Help me get out of here. I need to get out.
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd be glad to help you, but you must calm down first. Please, take a deep breath and tell me your name.
Okay, I'm Oswald Thatcher. Please, I need to get out.
All right, Mr. Thatcher, you're safe now. Do you think you can reach the street by yourself?
Yes, I do.
Good. Now leave this place and enjoy the cool night air. It's quite invigorating. I'm sure you'll feel better if you do.
Асфальтетчер. Так, что ты у нас? Головная боль. Ага. К сожалению, лекарства нету. Ладно. Навестим тебя попозже. Я надеюсь. Да уже нельзя, да? Ух ты ж, блин. Как много путей. Ладно. Да, взял. Так, сейчас, секундочку, еще раз проверю кое-что. Так. Ну, как я и ожидал, чатик у меня не работает. Секунду. Может быть, погромче себя сделать? Я на предыдущем стриме посмотрел. Что-то мне не нравится громкость. Так. Похоже. Часть. Да, работает. Это здорово. Погнали дальше. Так. Ага. Окей. Нет, не так. Не так. Да елки. Странно очень себя ведет игра. Изгнание дракона? О братстве Святого Павла я бы посоветовал членам нашего клуба с большой настороженностью относиться к этим так называемым ученым. Да, большинство относится к нам дружелюбно и с уважением, но для членов такого закрытого клуба, как Аскалон, было бы крайне неумно говорить о наших целях, наших товарищах и наших традициях. Неумно. И я бы также хотел напомнить о том, что само братство достаточно древнее, и у него довольно таинственные традиции. Одной из них, по сообщениям наших информаторов, может быть ритуал под названием «Изгнание дракона». Похоже, при определенных условиях члены братства Святого Павла проводят этот ритуал, если находят агрессивного или кровожадного бессмертного. В чем именно он заключается, я не знаю. Существует ли он на самом деле? В этом я тоже не уверен. Но мне удалось установить следующее. Каждый, представляющий угрозу для Лондона, вампир бесследно исчезал после того, как братство проводило против него ритуал изгнания. Сам Фергал Банша был достаточно умен, чтобы не бросать вызов братству. Этот урок должен запомнить каждый из нас. Нельзя допускать, чтобы братство объявила тебя драконом. Закон Аскалона. Лорд Редгрейв. Основатель клуба. А вообще, вот эти вот имена, это как будто записка вампира другим вампирам.
I have this thirst for blood.
Чувак, ты уже напился. Так. Что у нас тут? Нам, в принципе, сюда не надо. Там следы крови есть. Ну ладно, пойдем так. И мне кажется, впереди будет босс. Определенно. Пришли мы сюда другим путем. Ёперный чачер.
What sort of creature is this?
Очень маленький радиус. Странно. Пусти! Совсем нет. Эй! Маленькие удары его не станут лучше, я понял. Я чувствую, нам надо как-то улучшать оружие или что. В общем, что-то надо с этим делать. Урон просто мизерный. Если, конечно, не пользоваться магией. Ты меня задеваешь. Интересно, есть челленджи такие, чтобы пройти игру, допустим, только со скальпелем, допустим. Это было бы жестко.
Here's what's left of him. Not a lot to check, but I should anyway.
Купон сестры Крейн. Если вы больны, если у вас нет денег, неважно кто вы, неважно откуда, обращайтесь к помощи Доротеи. Никакого обмана, никакой уплаты, никаких вопросов. Просто найдите дом Дариуса Петреску и покажите этот купон.
Some voucher for a free checkup in Whitechapel. What is Nurse Crane up to? I really must find her.
А, мы бы туда просто не попали. Пришлось бы в любом случае идти по этому проходу. Ну что я, мышка?
This is despicable.
Что за ужас, согласен. Так, где ты?
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Что ж. Мы открываем новые горизонты. Шекели. А, шиллинги. Да. Да, просто дальше не прошли. Мы оттуда пришли, отсюда мы выйдем. $3000 опыта. Практически успешный человек. Ну, вампир. Сверху очень опасные люди, снизу не очень опасные гули. Я думаю, выбор очевиден. Нам надо было восполнить запасы крови. Так. Whitechapel. Да, это же с другой стороне. Мы там были уже, если не ошибаюсь. Помойка. Так, ага, хорошо. Да погодите, как нам надо идти? Щепел через мост и прямо. Мы были в этом закоулке. Тут дофигища людей. Состояние района тяжелое. Да. Тут пулей много и охотников за ними. Там кто-то бегает? Нет. Ты видишь его? Какой уровень? 11. Мы 7. В принципе, подраться можем. Только там, если не ошибаюсь, еще один человек. Так, мы тут уже были. Мало ли. Так, надо... Ну, дальше надо идти. Иначе никак. Блин! Ты ёлки-палки, отстань от меня, мелкий. Ай! Я его не видел. Как-то он меня со спины обошел. А можно ли просто проскочить их? Там же был, видимо, прыжок. Так, Whitechapel, да? Да-да-да, я и так stay back. Где-то там. Угу. Мертвый внутри. 10 уровень. И он мне что-то смеет указывать. Скаля. Так, подожди, они... Нормальное такое соседство, да? Надеюсь, нас не заметили. А, блин. Не видел, чтобы скали нападали на этих чувачков. Ладно, готов. Пироман. А, это эти огнеметчики. Не выходите на улицу. Инфлюенса. Угу. Понял. Вниз нам не надо спускаться. У нас сверху проблем будет достаточно. Смотрю.
Not a good place for a stroll. Go on, off you trot.
Зараза.
There's more and more
Die,
of these bloody
vermin!
meetings every night. I, the god, more and more.
Ау! Я даже не мог убежать никуда в сторону. Нет, вот этого. Теперь ты. А. Один на один вроде достаточно легкий. Господи.
There's more and more of these bloody leeches every night. I, the god, recruit more and more.
Вообще следует их убивать?
When did you join the guard? 2 days ago.
Типа вроде как ребята за правое дело сражаются. Мамма мия.
Not a good place for a stroll.
Чувак.
Stay away!
А может быть их натравить друг на друга? Ну чисто так. Пробуем. Ау! Это обидно.
This one of them!
Не-не-не-не-не, занимайтесь этим. Не, кстати, неплохо получилось.
Best stay back, sir.
Да что ты говоришь? Ау. Бойся, парень, сам боюсь. Ну, хорошо. Плохо, что не дают опыт, конечно. За такие мувы.
It's locked.
Что-то блестело. Так, что у нас там дальше? Ну, дальше там, понятно, другие улочки. Я не думаю, что стоит туда идти сейчас. Почему не сделаю такой режим? Режим песочек. Ты так летаешь. Быстренько, быстренько.
Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow.
Не знаю зачем. А. Большая банка таблеток. Причем каких таблеток? Что это за таблетки? Бедолага. Ого. Ого-го.
Me, I'll not die in some piss stinking alley reeking worse than a week old lavvy.
Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
I found the recruiter you were expecting. He's dead, but he carried a note. The Wet Boot Boys have accepted your application.
I knew it! I told you I was tough enough. I'll be free soon.
You're being manipulated by these criminals. What's worse is that you're clever enough to know better.
You're all fancy words, none of which concern me. Go worry about someone else. I'm fine and I have a future here.
Да что ты говоришь?
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Hey, I didn't do anything, it ain't me.
Тогда что так?
Medication and drugs are a rare commodity in East London. So you picked an easy target, didn't you?
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town. Perhaps you could help me.
I said sod off. Go find yourself another guide.
Окей.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. she's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
Goodbye, young man.
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets. Not
Что-то
me.
какое-то странное соседство. Я бы, например, ну, типа, это же он стрелял? Здорово.
What? Shooting a boy in the middle of the street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened? Who are you?
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise me to set your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer, doctor.
Что ты делаешь?
No one can help me. Not even you.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Have you heard anything?
It's funny, I've been searching for her too. I need some pills. But the woman is a phantom, if you ask me.
Really? And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to
Что с
say.
ним вообще?
This is where I used to live, and this is where I live now.
You don't have anywhere to go? No family that would welcome you?
Not since the death of my wife, Albert's mother. She was sick, you see. Long before the flu and all this shit.
You mean you used to have a better life?
Yeah, I had a wife, a home,
Очевидно, ну да,
a job.
странный.
I even used to have a name. Now I'm just Ben. Ben the Tramp.
Видно, что Лондон
Perhaps
был
you could
в лучшем
focus
состоянии.
for a moment and tell me your troubles.
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills. Everything's coming up roses.
Сын?
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure he didn't deserve a public execution.
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy just frayed me last nerve.
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private. From one soldier to another.
The doctors called me a liar, a coward. Put me in a straitjacket, locked me up. Finally, they sent me back to the front lines with a handful of tablets.
What about those we left behind, face down in the mud? You want to change places with them? You cannot waste your chance at life this way.
It's not that simple. I wouldn't have expected you to understand. I don't even know why I spoke to you in the first place.
Па-пам. Ну
A
ладно,
gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a
надо было
terrible cocktail,
полегче
sir.
его как-то.
Goodbye for now.
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets.
How are you, boy?
I'm not your boy, all right? Now piss off.
Do you need assistance?
Please. Feeling tired these days.
Не давать лекарств.
I will see you later. Goodbye, young man.
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets. Not me.
Подожди, а где этот парень? А, мигрень. Переутомление.
Wet boots will be proud of me.
Boy.
Ладно. Здравствуйте, дорогуша.
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Да ладно, Халил.
I'd
Давай
like to see
посмотрим.
what kind of medicine you're selling.
Опиум. Так. По-хорошему надо Сколько у меня надо скупить? Все.
Good evening, my dear.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
Goodbye, Miss Swanborough.
Ой. Как я выгляжу? Ну, вроде как еще здоровый.
Good evening, sir. Do you remember me?
If you're here for a reward, you'll be sorely disappointed. But I'll gladly shake the hand of a fellow countryman.
I'm not here for a bounty. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed from the Pembroke.
A doctor? In Whitechapel? What an opportunity. My name's Bates. Cadogan Bates.
Do you require assistance, Mr. Bates?
Not me, but your skills could help a lot of people round here. That would help my business, because I say, a live tenant's a paying tenant.
It's unusual to see someone so happy around here, especially considering the current situation.
Ha! Why should I be sad now? There've always been wars, disease, tragedy. There always will be.
That's an unusual way of seeing things in these trying times.
I don't see why I should shed a tear for another man's woes. I'm healthy, and I intend to stay so.
Молодец.
What is your business exactly?
I offer fair lodgings for a modest price to the poor and weary of Whitechapel.
I see. And what about those who cannot pay?
Well, deals can be done, if you know what I mean. Money's not the only currency. After all, I'm not immune to a pretty face.
Ой-ой-ой.
In other words, you take advantage of these poor lost souls.
Begging your pardon, I thought you was a man who could appreciate the complexity of the modern world. Things ain't just black and white, you know.
Чем я могу помочь вашему бизнесу?
What help could I possibly be to your business?
That's simple. I already get good money from all those fleeing the war. Can you imagine what they'd be willing to pay if I could offer medical assistance too?
Mr. Bates, do not make me regret saving your life in this quarantine zone.
I understand, Dr. Reed, you're from a good family. Don't want to get your hands dirty. That's fine. I'll be happy to act as your middleman.
Тут... А если я хочу, допустим, этим заниматься? Если я хочу деньги зарабатывать? Тут нету. Вы мерзавец, деньги меня не интересуют, мне не нужны сомнительные помощники. Тут все против денег. Если я хочу подзаработать, алло, игра. Ладно.
I've no interest in money. Perhaps one night I will visit you and take what I require. If that should happen, there will be no need for a middleman.
So it's a no then. That's too bad. The Reed tonic could have really helped people, you know, save lives. Isn't that what you do? I mean, people buy that Swanborough shit.
Tell me, what's your honest opinion of the increasing violence in London?
People are just beginning to discover what we've always known. This city's rotten to the core. They just took their bloody time to wake up and notice it.
What do you mean?
People are acting like the violence is news. But it's always been savage down here. It just bubbles to the surface every now and again.
You seem to have recovered well since your attack. Do you ever think about what happened to you?
Not much. It was a fucking nightmare. Savages, absolute bloody savages. Their appearance. Jesus. It made me want to puke.
You'd better not come back here. I won't be around next time to save you.
Так, окей.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane. She's a nurse. What can you tell me about her?
Dorothy Crane. Bless her soul. I really should thank her someday.
Tell me truthfully, why are you so thankful?
By keeping my tenants alive, she's making me a rich man. Every month they live, it's more coin in my pocket.
Has she treated you?
No. When I need a checkup, I'd go to a bloody doctor, not some back alley clinic full of sick foreigners.
Goodbye, Mr. Bates.
Окей. Ого-го. Что это за шепотки? У каждого какая-то болячка. Ужас.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
Что? Где он? Он за километр. Ух.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be for Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nithercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
People are talking about this Colossus. Perhaps I should look into it.
This week, Joe. Come on, we can sort it out, right?
It's not my call, Barrett. You pay one way or another.
Please, Joe. How long have we known each other? We even used to be neighbours, for Christ's sake.
I'd prefer not to give you another beating, Barrett.
Он на Стэтхэма похож. Вот этот парень.
Excuse me, sir.
А, все, уже не
I have a
похож.
few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off!
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
Хороший ответ.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you?
I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Все-таки давайте спросим Дороти. Hey.
Have you heard of a nurse?
Dorothy Crane. Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse of my wares.
I am Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
О, господи, сколько тут диалогов!
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
Well, you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Квестик.
How is business around here?
Business? I have no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse, then? Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
Yes, she's a nurse, and quite a good one. What did she do to gain such notoriety?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
Зависть она такая. Так, ладно.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
You again? What do you want this time?
Драки там занимаешься?
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
Most people don't become thugs when unemployed. This is a choice you made.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you? Joe Peterson. He's the villain here, isn't he? But you seem to know each other.
I'd known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice. He was a friend then. But these days, he's just another thug.
What can you tell me about Mr. Peterson? Besides his behavior toward you, obviously.
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer, good one even. But after his wife passed away, he found every excuse to stop training. Just wanted to pick fights with everyone.
It's never easy to find a new path in life, especially after the loss of a loved one. But crime is certainly not the best option.
We've all had some rough times, ain't we? And most of us don't use our fists to see us through.
And no one has ever stood up to this thug.
Nobody would be fool enough to stand against the wet boot boy.
Ну да, не то ножом пырнул. Хотя, учитывая то, что их главаря
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
пырнули ножом. Хрен его знает, какие-то непонятные ребята. Жиденькие, жиденькие. Так. Где тот парень?
Hello, young man. I'm Dr. Reed, and I would like to ask you a few questions. May I enter, please?
Sorry, no, sir. My father does not like people entering our house, you see.
Your father is worried about you, boy. He asked me to look for you.
So my father actually worries about me then? Okay then. Come on in. I'm Harry, by the way.
Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
Так, что у тебя тут можно взять, Гарри?
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
Your father and Mr. Lewis used to be good friends. What happened, Harry?
I was young then. I don't remember Mr. Lewis ever coming back again after my mother died. Or was it after my father started bullying him? I don't know.
Have you tried speaking to Mr. Lewis about it?
I don't go out often, but yes. And he scolded me and told me to leave him alone. I guess my father frightens him too much.
But you are not responsible for your father's actions.
Am I not? Dad always says that he joined that gang for my safety. So if I wasn't born, people wouldn't be worrying about Colossus Joe.
How do you feel?
I'm fine. I mean, it's not easy every day, but I'm fine. I'm just tired of being sick all the time. If only I could be tough, like... well, you know.
Speaking of which, what can you tell me about your father?
My father is an idiot who makes idiot things. That's all I have to say.
Forgive my bluntness, young man, but you don't seem happy living in Whitechapel.
Why should I? I never wanted to come here in the first place. It was my father's decision. And look around you. Does this look like a nice place to live?
I'm sure your father did his best when he found this house. Times are tough for everyone, young man.
That's exactly what my father says. Harry, you should be grateful for what you've got. I wasn't even consulted when we moved here.
If life here is so terrible for you, why don't you just leave this place? Have you ever spoken to your father about it?
I don't go outside. It terrifies me so. I went outside once without my father noticing and I saw terrible things. Bloody and frightening things.
So that's why you stay at home all day? For fear of the epidemic?
I'm not afraid of disease or death, Dr. Reed. It's the living I'm afraid of.
Аллилуйя.
Take care of yourself.
Такой зануда.
Even my dreams are soaked with gloom. Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
Да. Давай. Прочитай.
It's locked.
Блин. Шекели. Письмо с отказом. Давай почитаем письмо. Блин. Профессиональные охотники на вампиров. Если вы заподозрили кого-то в том, что он вампир, не предпринимайте самостоятельных попыток его убить. У вас нет шансов. Вместо этого обратитесь ко мне или постарайтесь найти профессионального убийцу вампиров. Их мало, но они знают, как справляться с этими жуткими существами. Часть из них, похоже, действует вместе под именем Стражи Привена. Вместе под именем... Это полувоенная организация, цель которой очистить Лондон от вампиров. Они ваши друзья. Вы не одни, у вас есть варианты. Действуйте с умом. Расскажите об этом другим. Я не понял. Тьфу. Все. Тебя-то я и искал.
You again? What?
Harry doesn't seem happy living in Whitechapel. Why did you make him come here?
I've always put my son's interests above everything else, whatever he may think. Our house is small but affordable. The walls are thin, but the door is solid.
You really love your son, don't you, Mr. Peterson?
He's my pride and joy. Even if he hates me for the choices I make and pushes me buttons more than he should.
Since the criminal nature of your job means you could be arrested, are you not afraid of what would happen to your boy if you were?
No one will ever take my son away from me. If that ever occurred, I'd hunt the bastard down and rip off his head with my bare hands.
Ой-ой-ой.
Do you have any regrets?
Only one. Not to have my beloved wife by my side. She died when Harry was little. My sweet Jane. She gave the boy confidence.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Ой-ой-ой. Здорово.
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
Спасибо.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Ну, давай.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Так, поближе микрофон сделаю. Ну, знаете, после канализации я уже готов ему поверить.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Ну, отчасти он прав, да.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Purification by fire has proved useful, but where do you stop? Burn the clothes? The buildings? The corpses? Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool?
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost?
Also,
quite a... I... Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I send him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
Просто надмозг.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
Ты молодец. Так, ладно.
I have heard enough for tonight.
Как много тут NPC-шек. NPC-шка, NPC-шка.
Excuse me, sir. Are you
А давай-ка
familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby.
поговорим.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm a doctor, Mr. Darby. I care about everything involving public health and this epidemic.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain Nurse Crane from the Pembroke Hospital would bring?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious, never goes out, doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
He has no relatives at all?
No. Except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
I'm convinced there is more at work here than a simple epidemic.
Really? To be honest, I could say the same. Some of the sick I saw or heard of. My God, what happened to them?
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist.
Понятно.
Have you any idea?
Really?
Have you? Really?
Really?
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
It's a disgrace. People are left to die alone. No one is properly informed of the risks.
These are bad times indeed. So much for the glorious British Empire.
Goodbye, Mr.
Давайте сначала в церковь зайдем. Не так-то просто это. Ой.
Will not protect you, for there is no protection against malevolence.
Да я же жал. Здорово, Ричард.
Some of us come to this world already touched by grace.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard of her.
Локализаторы опять жгут.
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
Ты ходишь на кладбище, чувак.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic, I must caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises
Кажется,
me.
я не буду вообще опрашивать Песьков.
If some misfortune came upon you,
ну,
who would be here to help?
Серьезно.
Well, you for a start, my dear Doctor.
Слишком специфично
What are
они
your
разговаривают.
thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is
И
a
очень долго.
tragedy, but the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
Yes. The enjoyable silence of the grave. You have a unique perspective on the situation, I must admit.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
I'll leave you alone.
Ладно, я думаю на этом завершить стрим. Подумал, что он там с фотоаппаратом бегает. Ладненько, всем спасибо, что смотрели. И продолжение будет, не знаю, может быть вечером, хотя не знаю. В любом случае, всем спасибо, всем